Question 1. In the context of a vSphere environment experiencing intermittent network latency affecting multiple VMS, an administrator suspects the virtual switch configuration may be causing packet loss. Which of the following best describes a potential cause and solution within the vSphere virtual networking architecture? A misconfigured promiscuous mode on the virtual switch can cause security issues. Disabling it will eliminate packet loss. B. The virtual switch MTU size may be smaller than the physical network MTU. Increasing the virtual switch MTU to match the physical switch helps reduce fragmentation and latency. C. Port groups with incorrect VLAN IDs will prevent VM communication but do not cause latency. Therefore, VLAN IDs should be ignored when troubleshooting latency. D. Virtual NIC teaming policies do not impact network performance. Adjusting load balancing on the virtual switch has no effect on latency. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The most common cause of latency and packet loss in vSphere networking is MTU mismatches between virtual and physical switches, leading to fragmentation or drop packets. Matching MTUs, often increasing to jumbo frames 9,000 bytes, reduces overhead. Promiscuous mode affects security but is unrelated to packet loss here. VLAN mismatches block traffic but don't cause latency. NIC teaming and balancing do affect performance. Dismissing them is incorrect. Question 2. Considering the evidence from a recent deployment, a company wants to ensure zero downtime during host maintenance for critical workloads. Which feature of VMware vSphere should be implemented to achieve live migration of virtual machines with minimal performance impact? A. Storage vMotion allows migrating the virtual machine's storage without downtime but requires downtime during host maintenance. B. vSphere fault tolerance ensures zero downtime by running an identical VMware copy on another host but does not support live migration. C. vSphere vMotion enables live migration of running VMS between hosts, allowing maintenance without VM downtime. D. Cold migration is the recommended method to move VMS without downtime during host maintenance. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. vSphere vMotion is designed for live migration of powered-on VMS between hosts with no downtime, ideal for host maintenance. Storage vMotion migrates storage but does not eliminate downtime for host-level changes. Fault tolerance provides zero downtime via VM redundancy but doesn't support migration. Cold migration requires VMS to be powered off, causing downtime. Question 3. Through the lens of resource management, an administrator notices uneven CPU edge across a cluster running multiple virtual machines. To balance CPU load dynamically, which VMware feature should be configured, and what is the primary mechanism behind it? A. vSphere DRS, which continuously monitors CPU and memory utilization and automatically migrates VMS to balance workloads across hosts. B. vSphere HA, which restarts VMS on healthy hosts but does not migrate VMS based on resource usage. C. vSphere EVC, which ensures CPU compatibility but does not manage workload distribution. D. vMotion, which migrates VMS only manually. Administrator request without automated balancing. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. vSphere Distributed Resource Scheduler DRS monitors cluster resource utilization and automatically moves VMS to balance CPU and memory loads dynamically. HA provides VM restart after host failure but no load balancing. EVC ensures CPU compatibility but not workload distribution. vMotion enables migration but manual unless integrated with OCAs. Question 4. From a practical standpoint, when provisioning a new virtual machine, which factor is crucial to optimize the performance and storage efficiency of the VMware in a vSphere environment? A. Assigning a thick provision eager zero disk optimizes storage space usage by allocating storage dynamically. B. Selecting the correct virtual hardware compatibility and disk provisioning type ensures VM performance and storage balance. C. Using multiple snapshots instead of templates speeds up provisioning time with minimal performance impact. D. Disabling VMware tools during provisioning enhances VM boot time and Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Choosing appropriate virtual hardware compatibility, matching ESXi version, and disk provisioning thick lazy zeroed, thick eager zeroed affects performance and storage efficiency. Thick eager zero disks improve performance but consume more space. Snapshots degrade performance and aren't replacement for templates. VMware tools improve VM performance and should be enabled. Question 5. Given the circumstances where a VET server appliance VSSA backup has failed repeatedly due to storage latency issues, what is the most effective approach to mitigate this problem while ensuring consistent backups? A. Increase the frequency of backups to reduce the backup size and storage load. B. Configure backup jobs to run during peak workload times to utilize resources optimally. C. Use vSphere snapshots cautiously before backups and ensure backups run during off-peak hours with sufficient I/O capacity. D. Disable snapshots during backup processes to avoid I/O bottlenecks and rely on cold backups only. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Disabling snapshots during backups reduces storage I/O overhead, preventing latency and backup failures. Snapshots increase disk write latency and can degrade performance during backups. Increasing backup frequency can worsen the problem. Running backups during peak times exacerbates storage contention. Cold backups require downtime, often impractical. Question 6. While examining the use of enhanced vMotion compatibility across a heterogeneous CPU cluster, what is the primary benefit provides in ensuring seamless EM migrations? A. can standardize CPU features across hosts by masking newer CPU instructions, ensuring compatibility for live migrations. B. increases VM performance by exposing all advanced CPU features to the guest OS regardless of host CPU differences. C. automatically upgrades ESXi hosts to the latest CPU microcode to ensure compatibility. D. disables vMotion on hosts with C+ to prevent migration failures. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Masks newer CPU features to present a baseline CPU feature set, ensuring that VMS can migrate seamlessly between hosts with different CPU generations. It does not boost VM performance by exposing advanced features. It does not upgrade CPU microcode nor disable vMotion on older hosts, but prevents incompatibility. Question 7. With respect to vSphere high availability, if a host fails unexpectedly, what sequence of actions does HA perform to maintain service availability? A. HA automatically restarts all affected VMS on remaining healthy hosts after verifying resource availability. B. HA performs live migration of VMS to other hosts before the host fails to prevent downtime. C. HA triggers vMotion to balance workloads after the host failure but requires manual restart of VMS. D. HA requires manual intervention to restart VMS and does not monitor host health automatically. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. vSphere HA monitors hosts continuously and upon host failure automatically restarts affected VMS on other hosts with available resources, ensuring minimal downtime. Live migration vMotion happens preemptively but not during failure. Manual restart or intervention is not required for HA to function correctly. Question 8. Based on the information about virtual machine files, which file type contains the virtual machine's configuration data and settings that define its hardware and state? A. EAK file stores the VM's virtual disk data, including the operating system files. B. OMX file holds the VM's configuration settings, including hardware assignments and parameters. C. Snapshot files (VSN) contain VM runtime state but do not store hardware configurations. D. The NVRAM file contains VM IOS settings but not hardware configurations. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. The OMX file stores EM configuration details like CPU, memory, network, adapters, and other hardware settings. That the AEK file holds the virtual disk data, not configuration. Snapshots save runtime state but separate from permanent hardware config. The NVRAM file contains BIOS firmware state, not overall VM config. Question 9. Considering the evidence that some VMS are experiencing degraded performance during simultaneous storage vMotion tasks, what best practice can help optimize storage vMotion operations in a heavily utilized environment? A. Schedule storage vMotion tasks during peak business hours to maximize resource use. B. Limit the number of concurrent storage vMotion migrations to reduce storage I/O contention. C. Increase the number of snapshots before storage vMotion to speed up migration. D. Disable storage DRS to prioritize manual storage vMotion migrations for better control. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Limiting concurrent storage vOcean tasks reduces storage EO contention, improving performance and reducing migration time. Running during peak hours worsens contention. Snapshots increase EO and degrade performance. Disabling storage DRS removes automatic load balancing, which can negatively impact efficiency. Question 10. In terms of VMware Tools functionality, which of the following best describes its role and benefits within a vSphere environment? A. VMware Tools is required only for backup solutions and has no impact on VM performance or management. B. VMware Tools enhances VM performance by improving network drivers, time synchronization, and guest OS interactions. C. VMware Tools disables hypervisor functions to increase guest OS autonomy and security. D. VMware Tools provides a replacement operating system environment independent EM's guest OS. Answer. Correct answer, D. Explanation. VMware Tools improves VM performance, network drivers, and enables enhanced guest OS interaction like time sync. It does not disable hypervisor functions nor replace the guest OS environment. It is essential beyond backups, enhancing VM manageability and integration with the hypervisor. Question 11. Based on the information about virtual machine snapshots, an administrator notices that the data store performance has degraded significantly. After investigation, it is found that several snapshots have been active for weeks. What is the most likely impact of long-running snapshots, and what is the best remediation practice? A. Snapshots consume additional storage space and increase EO latency. Consolidate or delete snapshots regularly to avoid performance degradation. B. Snapshots increase EEPU utilization but have no impact on storage. Adding more CPU cores will resolve performance issues. C. Snapshots only affect the VM's memory usage temporarily and can be ignored in production environments. D. Snapshots automatically compress over time, improving data store performance and reducing space consumption. Answer. Correct answer, A. Explanation. Long-running snapshots create delta files that grow over time, consuming significant data store space and increasing disk EO latency, which slows VM and data store performance. Best practice is to delete or consolidate snapshots promptly after their use. Snapshots do not directly impact CPU or memory usage long-term, and they do not auto-compress. Ignoring snapshots in production can lead to performance degradation and potential data store exhaustion. Question 12. From the perspective of a VMware administrator planning to deploy multiple SXE hosts with different CPU models in a cluster, which feature allows for consistent CPU compatibility, enabling vMotion migrations without VM downtime. A. VMware fault tolerance provides CPU masking for compatibility across hosts with different processors. B. Enhanced vMotion compatibility creates a baseline CPU feature set to enable seamless live migration between hosts. C. Distributed resource scheduler DRS automatically upgrades CPU microcode for uniformity. D. vSphere manage CPU compatibility by restarting EMS hosts with compatible CPUs only. Answer. Correct answer, B. Explanation. EVC works by masking newer CPU instructions to create a baseline compatibility level for the cluster, allowing VMS to migrate live across hosts with different CPU generations without downtime. Fault tolerance does not manage CPU compatibility. It provides via redundancy DRS manages resource load balancing but does not upgrade CPU microcode. Manages VM failover, not CPU compatibility for migration. Question 13. Considering the evidence from a troubleshooting scenario, an EM is experiencing network connectivity issues after being migrated using vMotion to a new host, which configuration or condition is the most likely cause for this issue? A. The VM's network adapter type is incompatible with the destination host's virtual switch. B. The destination host's physical NICs are disconnected, causing loss of network connectivity for the migrated VM. C. The source and destination hosts have mismatched VLAN configurations on their associated port groups, preventing proper network communication. D. vMotion does not support live migration of VMS connected to distributed switches, leading to network failures. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Mismatched VLAN IDs between source and destination hosts on port groups or virtual switches cause VMS to lose network connectivity after migration. The VM's virtual NIC type is compatible across hosts. Physical NIC disconnection affects all VMS, not just migrated ones. vMotion supports distributed switch migrations. Proper VLAN configuration consistency across hosts is essential. Network continuity. Question 14. Taking into account the fundamental concepts of vSphere storage protocols, which statement best describes the characteristics and use case of an FS-EA VMware environment? A NFS is a block-based protocol optimized for SAN storage but requires specialized hardware for VMware compatibility. B. NFSE, a file-based protocol that allows ESXi hosts to mount shared data stores over the network using standard SCPIP, facilitating ease of deployment and management. C. NFS provides direct attached storage functionality and does not support concurrent access by multiple hosts. D. Data stores require fiber channel switches for connectivity and are primarily used in large enterprise SAN environments. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. NFS is a file-level storage protocol that uses TCP/IP to enable multiple ESXi hosts to mount shared data stores over the network. It is widely used for flexibility and ease of management. NFS is not block-based. That describes ESXi or fiber channel. It supports concurrent multi-host access. Fiber channel is a separate protocol requiring specialized switches not used by NES. Question 15. Under the assumption that an administrator needs to reduce VM downtime during patching of the ESXi hosts in a cluster, what combination of features should be used to maintain VM availability and workload distribution? A. Enable vSphere high availability HART and manually migrate VMS during patching to maintain uptime. B. Configure vSphere DRS to automatically migrate VMS using vMotion combined with vSphere HART for failover in case of host failure. C. Use storage vMotion to move VM disks to a backup data store before patching and rely on cold migrations afterward. D. Disable vMotion and rely solely on Restart VMS post-host maintenance. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. DRS automates workload balancing by migrating powered-on VMS live during maintenance using vMotion, ensuring minimal downtime. HART provides VM restart and failover if a host fails unexpectedly during patching. Manual migration is labor-intensive and error-prone. Storage vMotion moves disks but does not help with live host patching. Disabling vMotion increases downtime risk. Question 16. From the viewpoint of monitoring and performance analysis in vSphere, which method best enables proactive identification of resource bottlenecks affecting VM performance? A. Reviewing only vCenter alarms triggered by hardware failures without detailed performance charts. B. Utilizing real-time performance charts and historical data in vSphere to analyze CPU, memory, and network utilization trends per VM and host. C. Checking VM snapshots frequently for performance improvements without monitoring resource usage. D. Monitoring only physical host metrics, ignoring VM resource consumption. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. vSphere's performance charts provide detailed real-time and historical metrics, enabling administrators to proactively detect CPU, memory, disk, and network bottlenecks on both VMS and hosts. Relying solely on alarms misses subtle resource contention. Snapshots do not improve performance and can degrade it. By ignoring VM-level data misses the true source of performance issues. Question 17. While analyzing the configuration of virtual switches in a vSphere environment, which feature is essential for isolating traffic among multiple VLANs on a single physical NIC? A. Promiscuous mode, which filters traffic by VLAN ID to separate network segments. B. Port groups configured with different VLAN IDs on a virtual switch, enabling traffic segmentation over a shared physical NIC. C. Load balancing algorithms on virtual switches to route VLAN-specific traffic through designated physical NICs. D. Disabling VLAN tagging to ensure all traffic is broadcast to every VM on the virtual switch. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. port groups allow assignment of specific VLAN IDs, enabling logical segmentation of traffic over a single physical NIC via VLAN tagging. Promiscuous mode allows monitoring all traffic but does not isolate VLANs. Load balancing distributes traffic but does not segment VLANs. Disabling VLAN tagging eliminates segregation, broadcasting all traffic indiscriminately. Question 18. The general consensus is that the VMware Distributed Resource Scheduler (DRS) operates best when which of the following conditions are met within a cluster. A. All hosts have identical CPU and memory configurations to avoid compatibility issues during migration. B. The cluster is configured with enhanced vMotion compatibility to max CPU differences. A DRS is set to fully automated mode for optimal workload balancing. C. Hosts run different versions of ESXi to maximize diversity and resilience, improving DRS decisions. D. DRS is configured in max mode and requires administrator approval for every VM migration. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. EVC ensures CPU compatibility for seamless migration, allowing DRS to perform automated load balancing effectively across heterogeneous hosts. Fully automated mode enables DRS to move EMS proactively. Identical hardware is ideal but not mandatory with EVC. Running different ESXi versions can cause compatibility problems. Manual mode limit DRS automation benefits. Question 19. Through careful analysis of a vSphere cluster, an administrator determines that VMS are failing to power on due to resource constraints. What is the best approach to identify and resolve this problem? A. Increase VM memory reservations to guarantee resources for all VMS. B. Use vSphere resource allocation settings and DRS to monitor and adjust shares limits and reservations to optimize resource distribution. C. Disable hard to prevent automatic restarts that consume additional resources. D. Power off or idle VMS and manually migrate critical VMS to separate clusters without resource monitoring. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Resource allocation settings control via accessed EPU and memory. Adjusting shares limits and reservations while using DRS for automated balancing ensures efficient distribution and prevents failures. Increasing reservations unnecessarily can exacerbate constraints. Disabling how reduces availability. Powering off VMS and manual migration without monitoring is inefficient. Question 20. When considering the deployment of VMware tools on a variety of guest operating systems, which statement best reflects its role and impact? A. VMware tools is optional and only needed for Linux guests to enhance driver compatibility. B. VMware tools provides improved VM performance, seamless user interaction, and enables advanced features such as graceful shutdowns, time sync, and quiescing across all supported guest OSes. C. VMware tools replaces native guest OS drivers, requiring a reboot after installation to function properly. D. VMware installation disables VM snapshots temporarily to prevent data inconsistency during backup operations. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. VMware tools installs optimized drivers replacing native ones, requiring reboots in many guest OSes to activate enhancements fully. It is recommended for all supported OSes, not just Linux. It enables key features like graceful shutdown and time synchronization. It does not disable snapshots during backups but can assist in quiescing VMS. Question 21. When evaluating the use of storage vOcean for migrating the EM's disk files across data stores in production environment, which scenario best illustrates the impact on VM availability and storage performance? A. Storage vMotion migrates the VM's disk files while the VM remains powered on, causing no downtime but may cause temporary increased storage I/O latency. B. Storage vMotion requires the VM to be powered off during migration to maintain data consistency, causing planned downtime. C. Storage vMotion moves disk files only after cold migration, so the VM remains unavailable during the process. D. Stop vMotion automatically compresses disk files during migration to reduce storage footprint, improving performance immediately. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Storage vMotion enables live migration of VM disk files between data stores without powering off the VM, ensuring no downtime. However, it increases storage load temporarily, which may affect performance. It does not require VM shutdown, nor does it compress disks automatically. Cold migration involves powering off the VM and is distinct from storage vMotion. Question 22. Across different scenarios, an administrator wants to implement network security in the virtual environment by restricting VM to VM traffic on the same host. Which feature in vSphere networking supports this requirement most effectively? A. Enabling promiscuous mode on the virtual switch to allow packet capture for security inspection. B. Using private VLANs (PVLANs) to isolate VM traffic within the same port group on a virtual switch. C. Disabling VLAN tagging to prevent inter-VM communication on the host. D. Configuring load balancing policies on the virtual switch to separate traffic streams by EM. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Private VLANs (PVLANs) isolate VM traffic within the same port group, restricting communication between VMS on the same host to enhance security. Promiscuous mode allows traffic capture but does not restrict communication. Disabling VLAN tagging removes segmentation and increases broadcast traffic. Load balancing manages network traffic distribution but does not enforce isolation. Question 23. Given the circumstances where a EA consistently shows high CPU ready times, what is the best course of action to reduce this issue and improve VM responsiveness? A. Increase the number of EC bus assigned to the VM without evaluating host CPU availability. B. Reduce the number of EC bus assigned to match actual workload demand and ensure adequate physical CPU resources on the host. C. Disable CPU scheduling for the VM to prioritize its processing. D. Increase memory allocation to the VM to compensate for CPU ready time. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. High CPU ready time indicates CPU contention. Reducing VC bus to match workload prevents scheduling delays, while ensuring the host has sufficient physical C bus helps reduce contention. Increasing VC bus blindly can worsen ready times. CPU scheduling cannot be disabled, and adding memory does not affect EPU scheduling issues. Question 24. In light of recent developments, an administrator is configuring a new vSphere cluster with vCenter server and wants to ensure rapid recovery from host failures. Which combination of features should be enabled to maximize availability and minimize downtime? A. vSphere high availability, HART for automatic VM restart, and vSphere fault tolerance, FEAT for zero downtime on critical VMS. B. Distributed resource scheduler DRS early, as it automatically migrates VMS before host failures. C. Storage vMotion combined with cold migration for VM failover. D. vMotion and snapshot scheduling to ensure backups before failover. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. vSphere how automatically restarts VMS on healthy hosts after failures, minimizing downtime. Fault tolerance provides continuous availability by running a live secondary VM copy with zero downtime. DRS balances loads but does not provide failover. Storage vMotion moves storage live but is unrelated to host failure recovery. Snapshots assist backups, not failover. Question 25. The underlying principle of resource reservations in vSphere is critical for guaranteeing VM resource availability. How does setting EPU or memory reservations affect VM performance and resource allocation in a shared cluster? A. Reservations guarantee that the specified resources are always available to the VM, potentially limiting resources available to other VMS. B. Reservations increase the maximum resources a EA can consume beyond the host's capacity. C. Reservations are only advisory and do not impact actual resource scheduling. D. Reservations prevent VM from consuming resources dynamically, causing resource starvation. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Resource reservations guarantee minimum CPU or memory availability to ensuring predictable performance but potentially reducing resources available for other VMS. Reservations do not increase resource capacity beyond physical limits. They are enforced by the scheduler, not merely advisory. Reservations do not restrict dynamic use but guarantee minimums. Question 26. Through careful analysis of a vSphere environment's virtual switch configuration, what is the impact of enabling promiscuous mode on port group, and when is this setting typically used? A promiscuous mode allows VMS to receive all network traffic passing through the virtual switch and is commonly used for network monitoring and intrusion detection systems. B. Promiscuous mode blocks all broadcast traffic, improving network performance on the port group. C. Promiscuous mode isolates VM traffic by blocking communication between VMS on the same port group. D. Promiscuous mode automatically encrypts all to protect VM communication. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Promiscuous mode allows VMS attached to a port group to see all network traffic on that switch, useful for network monitoring, troubleshooting, or intrusion detection appliances. It does not block broadcasts or isolate traffic. It does not provide encryption. Encryption is handled separately by protocols or hardware. Question 27. In terms of vSphere licensing and scalability, what is a key advantage of using vCenter Server in managing multiple ESXi hosts and clusters? A vCenter Server allows centralized management of ESXi hosts, enabling advanced features like ERS and vMotion across multiple hosts and clusters. B. vCenter Server licenses only support a single ESXi host and cannot be scaled to manage clusters. C. vCenter Server is optional and does not provide additional management functionality beyond the ESXi host client. D. vCenter Server replaces the need for licensing on individual ESXi hosts. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. vCenter Server enables centralized management of multiple ESXi hosts, unlocking enterprise features like distributed resource scheduler, high availability, and vMotion that require cluster-level orchestration. It does not replace ESXi licensing. Each host requires its own license. It supports multi-host, multi-cluster environments, unlike standalone host clients. Question 20. Given the circumstances where a new virtual machine template is created with outdated VMware tools and virtual hardware versions, what potential issues could arise during VM deployment from this template? A. VMS deployed from the template may lack enhanced performance features, have compatibility issues, and require manual updates post-deployment. B. Templates automatically update VMware tools and hardware versions upon VM deployment, eliminating any compatibility concerns. C. Using an outdated template improves deployment speed and reduces resource usage. D. VMware tools version and hardware version have no impact on V functionality once deployed. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Templates with outdated VMware tools and virtual hardware versions may deploy VMS lacking critical drivers, performance enhancements, and compatibility with new ESXi hosts. This necessitates manual upgrades after deployment. Templates do not auto-update these components. Outdated templates risk degraded performance and stability. Question 29. The predominant theory suggests that the best approach to configuring virtual switches in a large vSphere environment includes which of the following practices? A. Using VMware distributed switches (VDS) to provide centralized management, consistent configuration, and monitoring across multiple hosts. B. Configuring only standard switches on each host independently to minimize complexity. C. Disabling VLAN tagging on virtual switches to simplify network management. D. Relying on physical switches to manage all VLAN segmentation and ignoring virtual switch settings. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. VMware distributed switches enable centralized configuration, consistent policies, and advanced monitoring across multiple hosts, improving manageability in large environments. Standard switches are host-specific and require manual config per host. VLAN tagging is essential for segmentation. Physical switches complement but do not replace virtual switch config. Question 30. How might one explain the purpose and operational benefit of using VM snapshots in a vSphere environment, and what are the key considerations when utilizing them? A. Snapshots capture the VM state at a point in time for backups or testing, but they increase disk usage and may degrade performance if retained too long. B. Snapshots are permanent backups of VMS and do not impact storage or performance. C. Snapshots enable VM migration between hosts without downtime. D. Snapshots automatically consolidate after creation, eliminating any management overhead. Answer. Correct answer. B explanation. Snapshots are temporary point-in-time images used for backups or testing, capturing VM state, disk, and memory. They consume additional storage and can degrade performance if kept long-term due to delta growth. Snapshots are not permanent backups and do not migrate VMS. Consolidation is manual or scheduled, not automatic immediately.